Four Directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy, but with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
Fair fun starts on Metro Transit. Instead of driving, park your car for free and take a stress-free, non-stop, air-conditioned ride straight to the Minnesota State Fair. You'll not only save on gas and parking costs by taking a State Fair Express bus, we'll drop you off and pick you up right outside the gates. Learn more at metrotransit.org/State Fair. That's metrotransit.org/State Fair.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
This is Robert Pilot, host of Native Roots Radio. At the Great Minnesota Get-Together, Native Voices take center stage. Experience powerful drum performances, meet Native authors, and explore Indigenous food traditions at the Common Table in the Agriculture-Horticulture Building. It's all part of the 12 days of family fun with thousands of food, shows, exhibits, and more. Plan ahead and save. Tickets are just $17 through August 20th at mnstatefair.org. That's the Minnesota State Fair, August 21st through September 1st. See you there. Four Sisters Farmers Market is more than a place to shop for delicious organic food. It's a celebration of Indigenous culture, food sovereignty, and community. Now in its 11th season, the market offers healthy, affordable, culturally appropriate local foods every Thursday from 11 to 3. Located on the American Indian Cultural Corridor off Franklin Avenue, Four Sisters Farmers Market is a project of NAGD. Every Thursday now through October, discover more about Four Sisters Farmers Market by visiting nagd.org.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, clear with a low of 65, then Thursday, sunshine with a high of 82. Don't miss Zero Res's hot new Labor Day sale. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $119, plus a free hallway and $75 off an air duct cleaning. Head over to ZeroResMinnesota.com or call 9520-RES and ask for the AM 950 special today. Sale ends Labor Day.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be Indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway?
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake. Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events. As you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. Hey, I want to just remind everyone this episode of Native Roots Radio is presented in partnership with Little Moments Count and Minnesota Public Radio. Little Moments Count is a statewide collaborative focusing on helping parents and caregivers learn about the importance of brain development in the first 3 years of life. You know, nearly 80% of the brain growth happens the first 1,000 days in small moments of interaction like talking, playing, reading, and singing help create the pathways that build a child's brain during this early stage of life. For more information, you can visit at littlemomentscount.org. Hey, we are excited, as always, to have a guest on. And Native Roots Radio is always excited to be partnering with Little Moments Count to host conversations focused on early childhood development. We have guests every other week to talk about their important and about their involvement in Little Moments Count and how they view the role of early childhood and development. I have a great guest here, and before I get with you, Tony, and have you introduce yourself, uh, Tony's art is going to be in Tony's games are going to be in uh, Native Roots Trading Post at the West End Market in State Fair, and I'll be there tomorrow doing a live show, and Friday, and also be working the store with my Hinu and then my son-in-law on Friday. But I'm really excited to have Tony on and talk about his journey and how this is helping with development of our young ones that are our future. Welcome, Tony. Thanks so much for coming on.
Hey, Buju Niji, good to see you. Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me back.
Hey, right on. Hey, talk a little bit about who you are, and talk a little bit about your native games and the name, and what the whole process has been. It's been exciting for me to kind of watch this. Just meeting you, I think a few years ago at the fair, that you were booth, and you just had all these people around your booth, and it was really exciting. And thank you for coming on again, and thank you for partnering with Native Roots Trading Post.
Yeah, there's always a lot of excitement around Nashke games, and boy, we've sure made a lot of impact here in the last 2 years since we first met you. Miwa Chinoden. My Ojibwe name is Chinoden. Tony, I'm the founder of Nashke Native Games. Nashke in our language means like, behold, check it out, kind of see what we're doing here. Yeah, I used to work in education at the largest school district in Minnesota, in Okehennepin, and I worked with Native youth in the secondary school setting, and it was just super excited to be able to work with Native youth and share culture and language with them. And it turns out when you teach and communicate that information on the chalkboard, it's just not very inspiring, and kids don't really, it's not really a hook for them. So in my struggles, try to come up with a way to make it fun and make everyone want to learn. And I just stumbled on this thing that I got going on here, and it's just been a whirlwind of excitement ever since. And yeah, we're working with youth, elders, adults. Our mission is to increase awareness and empower learning of our Native culture and language through gameplay, and it happens every day here at Nashke Games.
That's awesome. And so you kind of talked a little bit about what inspired you, but I don't know if that's the right word. I think there's a need out there for community. Talk a little bit about that and the transition from your job to this, from your job in the school district to this.
Yeah, I love our community. I've worked professionally in our community my whole life. I was working at the school district, and there is a need out there. And, I seen that need when I was working with our youth. And there was a opportunity that arose for me to really say, hey, you know what? I have something here, and I want to bring it to the community. And it's the Finnovation Fellowship that invests in early stage social impact entrepreneurs. So about 2.5 years ago, I applied for that. And what they did was, I had the passion, I had the knowledge, but I didn't understand business. So I had a 9-month program of working out, hey, this is my concept, and working out the crinks and getting it into a good place, and then launching me. So I was very fortunate to have this knowledge and then have the coaching to be able to bring this in a good way.
Wow, that is awesome. I do remember talking to you about that, and that's right. That's really important, because not only having a great idea, but being able to pay taxes and things like that. That for me, it was like, oh, I think Square automatically pays those, don't they? And then you find out, well, I owe this money here, so it's a good idea to get these classes because you end up learning the hard way, like I did.
Definitely.
So, hey, let's talk about some of the games, and how does playing games really contribute to a child's development, and strengthening the culture identity. That's you talked about hooking them with the games. Well, let's talk a little bit about what that does for them.
Yeah, the games are really just meant to be the catalyst. The games are to have fun. And when we learn through joy, if it's games, crafts, music, we're 95% more likely to retain the things that we learn. And the games are the catalyst to talk about the language, to talk about the culture, to tell the stories. And we do that every day. So we have two different types of games. We have what we call reimagined traditional games. These are the games our people have been playing for hundreds and hundreds of years. We do a little twist on it, make it a little bit more contemporary, and it takes away those cultural protocols. And then we have some contemporary games like classics like Go Fish, but we call ours Benashiyug, and it's all about our winged relatives. And we provide the context to play the whole game in Ojibwe with one sentence. You can play and learn about, right now, 24 different birds in Ojibwe through that one game.
Wow. I was just going to ask you, can you talk about some of the success stories? And that's it, to see that come back at you. Is there any more that you can think of off the top of your head that, you know, what you've taught has come back to you, and you've noticed that they're learning, and they're learning in a good way?
Yeah, we see success stories every event, every day we do it. We see success stories, and we really originally launched really for our Native community, but boy, where we're really seeing that impact is in the non-Native community, and wanting to learn and wanting to teach, but not knowing how. And our games have proven to be super easy for educators. So we do a lot of services as well. Working with educators, working with programs, working directly with students. One educator told me one time she worked directly with Native youth, and they were playing one of our reimagined traditional games in the entryway of the school with her students. And the next thing, she turned around and there was like 40, 50 students from the whole school, Native and non-Native, cheering in and playing. And it just created a lot of Indigenous awareness, if not pride. And that's a specific instance. And we get reached out all the time with stories about, hey, I remember hearing the story my grandparents told me, and when you were explaining your game, it came out. And I'll see kids in the public all the time, and they're like, oh, I remember you from our school. We had so much fun playing the moccasin game. And so there's just success story after success story.
Well, we're going to take a break here in about 30 seconds. I'm wondering if you could get your website and address out there, and we'll bring that a couple times, because we know people are driving in their car, and we have relatives that download the show and listen to it later. So give your website, please, and how they can get a hold of you.
Yeah. My contact is all over my website. It's www.nashke.com. And if you want to see all the work that impact that we're having, you can check us out on our Facebook at just Nashke. And you can send me an email, and we can do any kind of communication that you want.
Awesome. Hey, we're here with Tony Drews, the founder of Nashke Native Games, and we're going to be right back and talk a little more. This is Native Roots Radio.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Four Sisters Farmers Market is more than a place to shop for delicious organic food. It's a celebration of Indigenous culture, food sovereignty, and community. Now in its 11th season, the market offers healthy, affordable, culturally appropriate local foods every Thursday from 11 to 3. Located on the American Indian Cultural Corridor off Franklin Avenue, Four Sisters Farmers Market is a project of NAGD. Every Thursday now through October, discover more about Four Sisters Farmers Market by visiting nagd.org. Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. The Minnesota State Fair is packed with 12 days of fun with food, rides, animals, shows, and much, much more. And right in the middle of it all, you'll find Indigenous voices making an impact. Seat the common table for lessons in Indigenous food justice. Visit with Native authors and watch drum groups. Plus, stop by the Native Roots Trading Post back at the West End Market. Tickets are just $17 through August 20th at mnstatefair.org.
Minnesotans age 65 plus might qualify for Health Partners Minnesota Senior Health Options. The easy all-in-one plan includes personal support, coverage for medical, prescription drugs, and dental, plus many extra benefits. Eligibility information is available at healthpartners.com/oneplan. Health Partners is a health plan that contracts with both Medicare and the Minnesota Medical Assistance Medicaid program to provide benefits of both programs to enrollees. Enrollment in Health Partners depends on contract renewal.
Oh, this is Dallas Goldtooth, and you're listening to the Native Roots Radio. Hoka, hicha, wecha.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. We're here with Tony Drews, founder of Nashke Native Games, and we're really talking about how this not only helps brain development, because, we're lifelong learners, and the young ones are in school are still learning and their brains developing, and we talk a lot about that about our really, really young ones. But this has got to be something you mentioned earlier about people seeing the game being played, or our allies or non-native people, and coming around and watching the excitement and excuse me, and the pride of the game players and the natives that are around there must just be like tremendous, and help with many things like self-esteem and self-care and self-worth.
Yeah, and it's like a secondary reason that we decided to do what we do. And like, we also have a catalog of greeting cards that we have. And, the reason behind all of this was to show Indigenous voices in these spaces. When young Native kids go to Games by James, before we started, they didn't see their culture represented in any of the games. But now James by Games carries our stores, and they walk in there and they see their culture represented, and it makes them feel good. So that's a secondary reason of us doing this, is to booster that Native pride. And by sharing the culture and the language within the games, students feel that in themselves, and it strengthens their identity. So it's circular, and it's a wonderful thing that's been happening here.
Wow. And when you develop your games, how much is let's say, how much are elders involved with that development, or being able to hand down a lot of the games, or be there and you can talk to them about, is this appropriate that we do this kind of game this way? How much do elders are involved with your production part?
Well, it's a huge part. Elders, community members, Native artists. We work with community members to develop all of our games. But most importantly, so I was talking about our reimagined traditional games. And those traditional games carry a lot of protocols to them. The moccasin game, that we're going to be at the state fair on the 24th for Indigenous Peoples Day, and we're going to be sharing the moccasin game with community. But that game, traditionally, women don't play that game. But when I was working with students, out of the 150 students that I had, maybe one or two have heard of it. Their parents have never heard of it. So in developing this game into one of our games, it was an essential piece of us working with our elders to say, hey, is this something that we can even do? We know the moccasin game is a men's game. How can we do this? So it was only with the support of those elders that we were able to bring these games to fruition. And what they told us was, and we went with tobacco. That's what we do. We go with tobacco, and and they didn't give us an immediate answer, but they came back and said, this is not the moccasin game, and it's not. It's got a whole different foundation of rules, but it's a teaching tool. They told us to expose our youth and non-natives to our traditions, and then if they want to learn more about those traditional ways, they can seek that out with elders as well.
Wow. That's awesome. And that's great how you have that lined up to be able to come back and do, this is kind of the version I played, and talking to elders. That's so important too. It's interesting that, it would be wonder, like in the last 500 years of colonization, how many different things we would have if we were left alone. How many, maybe different clans, maybe some clans would go away, and the dinosaur clan would go away. I'm just kidding, that, but it's interesting to kind of think about that. But it's also great to hear elders thinking things through that are keeping things sacred, but also within our community, and then also being able to promote and support your games too.
It was one of the things that took me by surprise probably the most. I wasn't expecting the response that I got from the elders. I really thought that this was not going to be something I was going to be able to do. But we're doing this because we're fearful of losing our ways, and it just really validated and brought warm places in my heart to see those elders looking through it through that lens. And I don't want to say giving us permission, but essentially giving us permission to do what we were doing.
Well, let me ask you about the art, because I know we were at the Shakopee winter party and had your product there. And one of the things that we were able to do is open up one of the packs of playing cards. And once we did that, people gobbled up the cards, and it was interesting too. We even sold the pack that we opened for a discount to someone at the very end because of the beautiful art on the playing cards.
Yeah, I'm just very fortunate. Like I said, I've worked in community my whole professional career. I'm all about relationships. So I'm always trying to build relationships. And we have just been so fortunate to have native artists, really good native artists. And we also try to really work with up and coming native artists as well. But Bill Breen does a lot of our work. He's so talented and so generous with his work. And the talented Chelsea Smith does beautiful work for us. So, I'm all about relationships, and, we work pretty much exclusively with native artists, and their work really sells our games for us.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. There's how many different artists are you working with, and how many like different sets of playing cards would you have with different artists?
Yeah, and essentially I work with three main ones, Nicole Bean, Chelsea Smith, and Bill Breen. But like I said, one-off projects, I'm always looking to increase our artists and bring in up and coming. We do have an Ojibwe playing deck of cards, and we've just come out with our Dakota playing deck of cards that are just beautifully represented by Chelsea Smith. Bill Breen has done all of our work for our Miigwech and our Beneshiag, our contemporary games, and our puzzles and memory tiles.
It's interesting. We just talked about Bill yesterday, State Representative Heather Keeler and I, and before he was, I don't know if the word taking off, we were at Dayton's, and she brought down personally his prints that he had done, and along with the story about how he, was doing it on his iPad with his finger while his wife was sick, and that whole story. And again, it is about building relations, and we have a small community, and those names that you mentioned as artists, I do know and I've heard, and Bill is kind of a special place in my heart because I've been working with him for like 5 years when it came to his art too at the Native Roots Trading Post.
Yeah, and so I just reached out to him because I seen his art and I loved it. But building those relationships, he lost his wife and I lost my wife, and through those connections, it just built the friendship. And I just really, really appreciate the work that he's done for us. And when we started, starting a business, you don't have a huge cash flow of money. He really worked within our budget, and he's just an amazing guy. And I'm just so blessed to have that relationship with him.
Yeah, I just saw him at Shakopee's powwow, and it was great to see him, and very humble guy, and he's doing it, and he's a true artist that's in the community, and it's so great to hear how he supports the community too with your endeavor. That's awesome. Hey, so what message would you like to share with parents, caregivers, and people listening about this culturally rich environment that children's growth and development through your games? What would you like to tell them, if they're a little skeptical? Or I know the proof's in the pudding when you're tabling across Turtle Island and people come up and see them and touch them, but what would you like people to know about these games and how they help people?
Well, play is the most natural way to learn. It builds problem-solving skills, communication. Even if you look at studies, it builds the capacity, 95% to retain what you learn. And we see it all the time. It brings people into the table that really might not want to come in. It's just fun. I think increasing awareness of our culture and language, especially through Turtle Island, but Minnesota here for our non-natives, it's important for people to know about the people they're sharing this land with. And we have a cribbage board we're coming out with, and at a minimal, it has all of the 11 different tribal nations here. So people, as they play, that can get embedded in their psyche. I think that's one of the most important things that non-natives can do, is know the different tribal nations out of Minnesota.
Well, that's a great point, and I think with the way education is now, and how things are getting whitewashed, and there is a big group of people that do want to know. They listen to progressive radio stations like we're on, and want to know, and that's why it's important, your work of what you're doing. Tony, do you mind giving your website again and email, and we're going to let you go, and I really appreciate you coming on, and I'm going to see you Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. I'm so happy. Nashke.com, NASHKE.com. Check that out on our Facebook and our website. I just appreciate the opportunity. Come out and talk about our mission. Chimigwich.
Always great to see you. Thank you for all you do. Hey, up next, Ruth Anna Buffalo, and this is Native Roots Radio. Oh, wow. Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. Native culture is alive and thriving at the Minnesota State Fair. The Native Roots Trading Post is back at the West End Market, where you can support Indigenous artists and makers. And don't miss the Native Pride dancers performing on the Summit stage at the Bazaar August 31st and September 1st. From music and art to food and storytelling, Native culture is everywhere at the State Fair. Tickets are just $17 through August 20th at mnstatefair.org.
When was the last time you had your roof inspected for extreme weather and hail damage? This is Chad, owner of AM 950, to talk about the exterior construction company I trust, Snap Construction. If you've noticed new roofing projects in your neighborhood, your home was likely hit by hail last summer and experienced damage. Snap Construction is helping homeowners like you, and they're the roofing specialists I trust. They are the most well-reviewed contractor in the Twin Cities and have a ton of positive customer reviews from homeowners just like you. Even better, Snap Construction's installations are backed by a lifetime warranty, so you know you're dealing with a qualified roofing expert. You want to work with a company that will be here for a long time after the work is done. Snap Construction has handled thousands of claims and will help you through the process. Do yourself a favor and get a free roofing inspection so you have the facts and peace of mind you deserve. Call Snap Construction today at 612-333-SNAP. That's 612-333-SNAP. Or visit snapconstruction.com.
Crooners is a classic supper club with a wide range of entertainment. Make your reservations for a parade of international, national, and local artists in the main stage showroom, the intimate Dunsmore Jazz Room, or outdoors at the seasonal Belvedere Under the Stars space. Or enjoy Maggie's Piano Lounge. Enjoy 4-star food and drinks with first-class supper club service. What are you waiting for? Go to croonersmn.com for more information and schedule. That's croonersmn.com.
Turn to Auto Technical with your vehicle donation. Even though Auto Technical is a small nonprofit, we have helped more families with transportation than any organization in Minnesota. Since '94, we have reconditioned donated vehicles so they have a higher tax benefit. Call Richard at 612-919-5526, 612-919-5526, or autotech.org.
Hi, I'm Peter Solak.
And I'm Adam Ostrowski.
We are here at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces to talk about the joy of live fire cooking. Cooking over a live fire is the oldest and most basic form of cooking.
What's new is in the way fire is handled and its heat is managed.
It's easier to experience and enjoy the smell and taste of food cooked over a live fire.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces sells and installs live fire grills, fire pits, and ovens. Let us help you experience the smell, the taste, the fun of cooking with fire.
Pizza was first made and is still best made in an open fire oven. The radiant and conductive heat of a live fire is unmatched for wood roasting and baking artisan breads too.
Come see the many ways you can cook over a live fire.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces has over 35 working wood and gas units on display at the corner of East Franklin and Riverside Avenue in Minneapolis. More information at woodlandstoves.com. Find the fire that works for you. Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces. Out of the ordinary products and services since 1977.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, clear with a low of 65, then Thursday, sunshine with a high of 82. Spend your summer with some of the hottest musical acts around at Crooner's Supper Club in Fridley. Crooner's is located just north of I-694 off Highway 65 and Moore Lake Drive. Visit croonersmn.com to view their schedules and food menus.
AM 950 KTNF, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Anine, I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. This portion of the show is supported by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition here in Minnesota and all over Turtle Island. Hey, we are with our friend, just 1 second here. Oh, I had a cough there for a second. I am a professional, Ruth Anna. Hey, we are here with Ruth Anna Buffalo, and you know what I want to do, if you don't mind, and you are with Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center, I want to read your bio here on the website. And well, I appreciate that. You know, I'm just going to read this, and because you're on, you know, pretty much every week, and we talk about things, but I just want to talk about you for a second and give you a shout out about your street cred. Oh, wow. So, hey, Ruth is an educator, community organizer, and public health professional. Ruth has served in various capacities focused on building healthy and safe communities. She has served on advisory councils focused on women's health, women's leadership development, and local food systems. She has 25 years of community advocacy work. I can't read today. Ruth is a former Fargo Native American commissioner and a former North Dakota lawmaker. She has introduced new laws focused on public safety, prevention, and awareness of MMIP and human trafficking, and the creation of missing persons database. She serves on boards as board president for the National Native American Boarding School Healing Coalition. She is co-founder of the local MMITP task force. She is an appointed commissioner to the Not Invisible Act Commission. Wow, Ruth, we got to start paying you more. You really have the cred. Good to see you again. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Yeah, Mazagadads. Thanks.
Yeah, wow, that's very impressive. And again, appreciate you coming on. Geez, I met you years ago. I think it was at Wounded Knee the first time I met you. Or no, maybe you were on the show, and then I met you at that Native Wrestling tournament. State, at the time, state representative, but now State Senator Mary Kunish interviewed you for my show.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember that. And I'm relatives to first cousins with Della, who runs the Women of Nations.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
cool. That was a while ago. That was pretty crazy. That was fun times, and I know that they're still doing it, and it is native owned, and it's pretty exciting that they're still doing the wrestling. And I got to see a few people that signed some autographs from people from my era when I was a kid. So you can imagine how old they were. Oh, wow.
Yeah, really. I know one of the Native women wrestlers. I follow her on social media, and I think she does a lot of self-defense training across the country too. So that was a pretty cool connection to make. And yeah, that was a fun event. That was the first time going to something like that. And then the fact that it was like Native owned and Native led was pretty cool too. So.
Yeah, and also it was a fundraiser too, truth be told, for that group that you mentioned, that your friend is a part of.
Yeah, yep. She's my older first cousin. Yeah, she's the niece of my mom's oldest brother. So my oldest uncle, Uncle Junior, late Uncle Junior. Yeah, Della, and she was in the service, I believe. So yeah, we still have to connect. Like we sometimes will correspond, but we just haven't actually had coffee together, and she's just, in St. Paul, and we'll correspond here and there. And but we follow each other on social media, and one commonality we have is that we both have Chihuahua dogs, so it's kind of cool.
And that was Woman of Nations, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Women of
Yeah.
Nations. Yep.
Yes. And we, Wendy and I used to have 2 Chihuahuas.
Nice.
And they were our buddies. But one of them really had a kind of a cranky attitude, and the other one was such a lover. It was so funny, and they came from the same breed. It was pretty. Mickey, we miss Mickey. Mickey, one time I moved in the bed and he bit me in the head. He didn't want me to move at all. But we loved him.
Yeah. Yeah, they sure
Oh.
act. He sure acts like a big bulldog, or like he's bigger, 10 times bigger than his size. Yeah.
Yeah,
Guard dog.
definitely. How old is your Chihuahua now?
Gee, we've had him since 2016, and he came from they call it like the Ville or the Village, Forebears segment on the Fort Berthold Indian Reservation, but came from some relatives originally, and then his parents came from there, and then he was born in Mandaree.
He's a res dog. Wait a minute. He's a res dog?
Yes. Yeah, and then he had in the previous, how do you say it, litter or batch of puppies before him, he had a sister, and she was super tiny. Like she used to sleep inside my shirt. I mean, she was like abnormally small, and didn't live very long, but that was his older big sister. And her name was Espin, but ESPN, but we called her Espin. But she was so cute. And our dog Jordan, who's named after Michael Jordan, he's pretty tiny too for a Chihuahua. Like we see some Chihuahuas and they're huge, but he's still a pretty tiny guy.
Yeah, those Chihuahuas. They were, when we got our Chihuahuas, they were like 2.8 pounds and 3 pounds, and they said, oh, they're only going to double in size, but they ended up being like 8 or 9 pounds. They were like really big Chihuahuas.
Dang, that's crazy.
Well, hey, let's get to business here. Let's get what's happening at Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center and how people can support and follow you. And you guys have things happening all the time supporting our community.
Yes. Let's see. Today's Wednesday. Yesterday was the weekly Tuesday Resource Connect from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Open to the public. We help get people connected to resources such as treatment, mental health, behavioral health, and housing. Various service providers are on site Tuesdays, and we offer lunch and breakfast. And then Monday, Thursday, Fridays, our meal program is an expansion of the drop-in center. And we offer breakfast from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And today we had our second convening of eyeglass exams or eye exams. We partnered with the Helen Keller International Group, and we are having, I believe tomorrow night is our kids' night out where they will be doing sage picking. And then on the 29th, we have a back to school event where my husband will be giving basic haircuts for ages all the way up to 6th grade because he's a master barber. And then we'll also have like nail painting, designing, backpacks, I think toothbrush kits, also gift cards for some fun games and things. So yeah, that's our little back to school event, Friday, August 29th.
Wow, can you believe it's back to school time? Oh my goodness.
Right. Yeah, we have yep. Our 2 oldest are, one's already away at college, and the other high school graduate is doing a year here, like at local school prep academy, taking college courses and things. And then our twins, so back to school, we're going to be hitting the ground running for sure with our 5th graders.
Wow. And do you ever go to the Minnesota State Fair? I know you've lived here in the past, but is that a thing for you?
Yeah, we went there last year, and yep, when I lived here long time ago or years ago, also was back for the state fair at that time. But yeah, it was it's good. Yeah, we're looking forward to going, and we enjoyed the horse show and the Native American Day last year too. So probably go back
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, and I guess that's this Sunday, the Native
Oh, it
American.
is. Oh, nice.
Yeah, so when you stop there, stop by Native Roots Trading Post at the West End Market. I just thought I'd throw that commercial in there real quick
Will
and
do.
buy some swag from Native Roots Trading Post. Oh,
Yeah, I still have the couple earrings from there, and they're really good. I liked how they're lightweight and shell earrings, so pretty cool.
yeah.
Creative.
Yeah, we support a lot of artists, and that we have different kinds of earrings too. And anybody, that's one of the things too. It's interesting is that if we are selling it, the whole community can buy it. Anybody in the community. But one of the things I always like to bring up when it comes to native art is ask people who made this, and if they can't tell you, it's made in China and it's not real native art. Because we all have relationships with the artists. Earrings you have on now, who made those.
Yeah, yep, for sure. It's yeah, good to keep track of the various artists and things to yeah, kind of give that credit or that because it's so much time and energy and resources go into it. And it's, beautiful artwork, and a lot of them are one time, like one of a kind
Mhm.
collections that could even turn into family heirlooms.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't say advocacy today. You're doing a lot better than me. We're gonna have to edit that out on the best of. Oh, wow. Hey, so what else is going on? What's the future here? I know we have a grand opening happening that really exciting the community, the support that Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center has been giving over 40 years to the community. Let's talk about that again. I just can't not talk enough about what you're doing.
Yeah, so we are gearing up for the opening of our newly renovated tenant units upstairs. We're located on 2300 15th Avenue South in the East Phillips neighborhood and Ventura Village neighborhood. And we moved from 14 2 to 3 bedroom units to 24 studio efficiency single units. And so we will have at least 6 individuals leased up, as they say, or occupying spaces upstairs by the end of this month, which is next week. So we're super excited for everything to continue moving forward. But the spaces upstairs are super nice. They're supportive housing and looking to help support our relatives in getting on a stronger path forward towards healing and recovery. And so we are been doing a lot of prep work inside and outside of the building to make sure we have the most supportive environment we can have for the relatives when they arrive, and that their stay is good here. So
Awesome. Hey, can you hold on for just a quick part of the next segment here? We can talk a little bit more. Do you mind?
nope.
Great.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, well, we're here with Ruth Anna Buffalo, CEO of Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center here in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis. And this is Native Roots Radio. We're going to be right back after this short break.
Fair fun starts on Metro Transit. Instead of driving, park your car for free and take a stress-free, non-stop, air-conditioned ride straight to the Minnesota State Fair. You'll not only save on gas and parking costs by taking a State Fair Express bus, we'll drop you off and pick you up right outside the gates. Learn more at metrotransit.org/state fair. That's metrotransit.org/state fair.
Hey, this is Robert Pilot. The Minnesota State Fair is more than food on a stick. It's a chance to celebrate Native culture and voices. On August 25th, hear the Red Lake Singers and Emizaska Drum Group during Mental Health Awareness at Dan Patch Park. On August 27th, meet Native authors like Roxanne B2B Nokwe Gold and Stacy Lola Druyard, and visit the Common Table and learn how Indigenous foodways are shaping Minnesota's future. Get your State Fair tickets now at mnstatefair.org.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Four Sisters Farmers Market is more than a place to shop for delicious organic food. It's a celebration of Indigenous culture, food sovereignty, and community. Now in its 11th season, the market offers healthy, affordable, culturally appropriate local foods every Thursday from 11 to 3. Located on the American Indian Cultural Corridor off Franklin Avenue, Four Sisters Farmers Market is a project of NAGD. Every Thursday now through October, discover more about Four Sisters Farmers Market by visiting nagd.org. Welcome back to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, in this portion of the show, we like to bring awareness to our Minnesota and Wisconsin wolf population by saying no to the wolves. Oh! Okay, Ruth, you didn't help me out there. Oh,
Sorry.
next time.
Next time.
Right on. So let's talk a little bit, and I'll let you go here in a little bit, but I always want to talk about what you do and what your family does and what people at Minnesota Indian Women's Resource do to take care of themselves, and how important it is that you are boots on the ground and the workers there are boots on the ground. Talk about some of the stuff that you do and your partners that work there do too.
Yeah, thank you. For sure, we take advantage of the good weather. I think any type of seasonal weather we all enjoy, it seems. But yeah, with the summer weather, a lot of us like to go swimming. We were doing some of the cold plunging where you do sauna, then cold plunge, then sauna. And that's pretty neat experience, pretty rejuvenating. But yeah, I love to swim. Yeah, it was kind of interesting to see the Star Tribune article that came out recently about grading the different lakes, because we're newbies to the area. And so there's this one lake that we like to go to, but it kind of scored low on the report card. So we were like, oh, okay. But I mean, so yeah, I just grew up, at the lake or being on the lake. So I think for sure we like to do outdoor activities, and every month we have a all staff meeting, and we do the first morning. The morning portion is more businessy and training. The afternoon is more self-care. And so for the past 2 months we've been off site. Like this month we went to the lake. The previous month we went to. So yeah, this month we went to. On a riverboat cruise in St. Paul, and then July we were at Lake Nokomis, and then June we were at the Minnehaha Falls. So yeah, I think we all can agree that we love to be outdoors for sure.
That's awesome, and that's being there and being with all the gifts that are out there. I'm telling you, we have a bee garden in the front of our house. So it used to be a regular yard, and Wendy put a lot of effort in this. But I just look out there now, and there's 4 monarchs that live there, that are there constantly, and it just warms my heart in a big way. That you know, these creatures are here, and we're helping them, and they're living, and they're part of us.
Yeah, for sure. It's fun to watch all the different, like, yeah, beautiful winged relatives and four-legged relatives. I know when I first started working here, March of 2024, the place that I was staying at, still north of here, but it was interesting because I would see when I would leave for work, and sometimes it was early and foggy out, but I would see this fox running down the street, and it didn't have a tail, and I was like, what does this mean? No, just kidding. But yeah, it was interesting to see a fox in the neighborhood. So
Well,
we
it
made eye
meant that
contact.
yes, it meant that you could recognize him because he or she didn't have a tail, and that's
Yeah.
cool. Like, yeah, I know, and we have eagles, and you're not old enough to remember this, but when they were poisoning the eagles for so many years with the DTE and all that, there were hardly any eagles when I was young. I mean, I never saw one really until I got older, and now they're in my neighborhood scooping up squirrels, and that's cool.
Yeah. Great. Yeah,
You
and to
know.
protect the chihuahuas for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely, and our Shih Tzu too for sure. We have like raccoons come in our backyard. We have possums, squirrels, the blackbirds, the big black crows, and so it's amazing. With the rabbits, of course, are all over, and the squirrels. It's just, and we're right in the city here, so we've got a little sanctuary going on in the back. But it's really cool to be part of the world by seeing all this and being a part of it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we grew up out in the country and always hearing like coyotes, during the evening, and baby coyotes, hearing those sounds and things, and they would always sound like they're just right over the hill. And but yeah, it's cool to be outdoors and spend time in nature and just appreciate the beautiful creatures that are there, our relatives. And we were watching a special too on like the buffalo over the weekend, and the similarities too of like how there was like millions of buffalo, and then downsized
Mhm.
to a tiny population. But yeah, we enjoy being outside and just spending time. We love to watch our dogs run too. We have a Boston Terrier, and she likes to run, so it's fun to see her just sprinting and going in circles. But
Wasn't your husband a baseball coach too?
yeah, he was. Yeah, we missed the Native American night at the Twins, and he was interested in checking out those bats that are designed
Yeah.
by Native Designs. So he's still on the lookout for one to see if we can
Oh,
get a hold of one.
you should have told me. I had an extra and I gave it away. Darn it!
Oh,
Because I got
dang.
there early. I got there early, and then what was interesting, and I'll just maybe I won't. No, I will tell people. So I was outside watching, and I knew my children and the grandchildren coming, and I was going to make sure that they got a bat, and I was going to give both of them to them. And I saw people, and they do this with bobbleheads and all the other things. I had people saying, "No, I don't want one," because they just had four kids go in and get one. And it's like, do we need another one in the house? And I said, "Do you mind getting one for an extra one for me?" And so I did, and then my daughters did get there in time to get them. So I saw a tribal member that didn't get one, and I gave it to her because I had two. Oh, wow. But yeah,
Yeah.
it, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful bat, and yeah. So, well, let's just one more thing before I have you go. I want you to again mention your site and how people can support your work, which is so important here in the community, and just let people know who you are and what you're doing.
Sure. Yeah, thank you. We are Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center. We provide a lot of comprehensive services and support to the community, to the family, and to individuals. And we are located at 2300 15th Avenue South here in Minneapolis. And you can go to our website at miwrc.org and learn more about us and see current events, job postings, and also a place to donate too. So mods get odds. Thank you.
Perfect. Hey, thank you. Have a great week. Maybe I'll see you on the fair on Sunday and see you and your family. Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for coming on, Ruth Ann Buffalo. Hey, wow, that's awesome. I really appreciate Ruth Anna and all the work that she does in the community. We just try to amplify the work that great people like Ruth Anna do, and Tony today with his games that are, you know, bringing a sense of, you know, awareness of and pride of Native people, but also people that, you know, that need something, you know. So again, hey, I just want to say real quickly, we're going to be out at the Minnesota State Fair tomorrow, and come by and see us at the West End Market. This has been Native Roots Radio signing off. We're still here. We are the seventh generation.
The city of